Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming. Today, we are going to talk about the Landlord Engagement Program. I'm Counselor Brooke Bassan from District 4 in the Northeast Heights, and I know that there's been some heavy lifting on behalf of many people here in Albuquerque from council and our staff, who I want to give a huge thanks to Abigail Stiles and Dawn Marie Emilio for a lot of their work in making sure that they work with many people that you're going to hear from today. So I want to make sure to kind of highlight the Landlord Engagement Program, and then we're going to introduce and let some speakers talk today as well. But this Landlord Engagement Program is a city initiative designed to create and increase housing options for permanent supportive housing vouchers. It's going to encourage landlords to rent to voucher holders through financial incentives and support services. It offers in partnership with Housing New Mexico, formerly the NMMFA, and the Coalition to End Homelessness. Our current housing market in Albuquerque is competitive, and landlords for affordable housing properties have their choice of renters. This can mean that people with permanent supportive housing vouchers are crowded out and likely increasing homelessness across the city. The Landlord Engagement Program acknowledges the critical role landlords play in ending homelessness, and it partners with them to see that they have additional supports when they open their doors to permanent supportive housing vouchers and their holders. The Landlord Engagement Program is a safety net, bringing landlords peace of mind and puts money in the pockets of the permanent supportive housing voucher tenancy if it goes awry. It represents a true partnership between landlords and the city of Albuquerque to share risk and get people in need housed. This is going to offer financial guarantees such as funds to cover damages, vacancy losses, upgrades needed to meet inspection standards, as well as assistance from dedicated landlord liaisons, who you're going to hear from today, to navigate the voucher system, which has been proven to be adding to some of the tenancy issues. Our liaisons we have 3 new landlord liaison positions that have been established to build relationships with landlords, and they will provide top-notch service to landlords who can make referrals to community resources. The Landlord Engagement Program is modeled after a successful CYFD landlord collaboration program, which has been operational since 2022, and it has shown positive results in easing landlord concerns and financial burdens, creating new rental options for young adult at risk of becoming unhoused. The program was developed with the support of Carmichael Consultants, with input from a broad array of stakeholders, including landlords, service providers, housing authorities, and voucher holders, ensuring it addresses the real concerns of all those involved. While initially focusing on permanent supportive housing voucher holders, the Landlord Engagement Program is designed to scale up and potentially include other marginalized populations, which I heard some of them talking about today, even briefly on future meetings that some of the stakeholders are going to have, to find quality, affordable housing in Albuquerque. Landlords can receive up to $3,000 if there are damages to their rental unit, $1,000 for property improvements if they do not pass inspection, and there can be additional reimbursement for unexpected tenancy-related expenses, making it financially prudent and safer to rent to voucher holders. The program ensures prompt and fair reimbursement for landlords through a streamlined claim submission and review process, supported by the landlord liaisons at the New Mexico Coalition to End Homelessness and Housing New Mexico. This program knows that landlords need to be reimbursed quickly and is dedicated to meeting this goal. The Landlord Engagement Program aims to create long-term, mutually beneficial housing partnerships with landlords, improve permanent supportive housing voucher holders' ability to find quality rental units, and reduce the stigma associated with voucher households. By addressing housing barriers and reducing the risk for landlords, the Landlord Engagement Program is poised to play a critical role in ending homelessness in Albuquerque, making it a transformative force for both landlords and the community at large. Right now, I'd like to invite Mayor Tim Keller up to say a few words and his collaboration with us on this program moving forward in Albuquerque.
All right, well, good morning, Albuquerque, and this is so special actually to see truly one Albuquerque effort behind me and on this project. And I look around and I see folks who often, we have tenants and landlords, they may not always get along every day. We understand that. We have folks who work at the city who, I know can be challenging bureaucratically with vouchers. We got Housing New Mexico in between. The point is, this is such a good example of how it takes all of us to work on these issues. And I think it's also a good example of how in many ways we all own a little bit of the problem, including myself, when things don't work out. We also own a little bit of the solution to make it work better. And in this space, particularly with housing vouchers, this is one where I was so excited to learn about this initiative because it really does show that, by and large, I just want to be clear, most landlords want to do the best by their tenants. And most tenants want to just enjoy that shelter, that home, and move on with their life and not deal with their landlord. And so by and large, right, this is not always a problem, but we do know there are problems with this, especially when it comes to the usage of vouchers. And we know that actually vouchers are essentially gummed up in all sorts of ways with different bureaucratic challenges. We're going to be working on this all fall. But one thing that this program really unties is that friction between using a voucher and a tenant and a landlord. And it does it with great braqueños like the ones who are behind me today. So this is a wonderful example of what we need to do more of going forward. It's about bridging a gap that has been long too often ignored when it comes to somebody who's actually looking for a housing and there being funding. It's actually hard to put those together sometimes, and that's what this really addresses. It also means that we get the most out of our vouchers. We know in the past, we as a community, not just the city, as a community, has actually not been able to use all our vouchers. What a tragedy that is, right? Funding available, yet we haven't been able to deliver. But by the same token, we also know that we still need more vouchers. And so we got to make them easier to use. And so this is wrapped up in all of this effort and the collaborative effort that you see out here today. And so I do appreciate especially council staff's leadership on this. This really was cooked up, wonderful policy idea, and we were excited to help make it happen. So I think just want to wrap up with this. We're going to basically help reimburse for damages, $3,000 for damages and $1,000 for inspection upgrades and about $500 in flex funding and 1 month vacancy loss. That's sort of some of the financial liability solutions that we're offering. But much, much more important to that is the fact that the city, including councilors, city council, and administration, Triple H Department, Housing New Mexico, MFA, and the New Mexico Housing Collaborative, and a bunch of other individuals have stepped up to get families into homes and keep them there. So for that, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mayor. Now I would like to make sure to invite up Kelly Tillerson with Housing New Mexico, MFA.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for coming out and joining us today. So, like Councilor Brisson said, I'm Kelly Tillerson. I'm the Director of Community Development at Housing New Mexico. MFA is what we used to be referred to. We just want to express our gratitude for being able to be a part of this new program. The Landlord Engagement Program is really set out to create opportunity for voucher holders in the city of Albuquerque. Our staff has been running the Landlord Collaboration Program in conjunction with CYFD for a few years now, like Councilor Bassan had said. And our staff is very well versed on how to get these claims processed very quickly. Our typical turnaround time is a day and a half from the time we receive the claim to the time it's being processed for payment. And we understand that landlords need that money quickly to be able to move forward with their tenants, and we do our best to get those claims out very quickly. Just do want to say thank you to everyone that has supported us in these efforts, namely Councilor Bassan and Mayor Keller and all of City Council. Thank you for involving Housing New Mexico in this effort, and we're so excited to be a part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly. We're starting to glisten out here. Okay. Next up is the New Mexico Coalition to End Homelessness. I'm going to invite Alex Ormone up here to say a few words.
All right, good morning, everybody. My name is Alexandra Paisano. I'm with the Coalition to End Homelessness. I'm the Coordinated Entry System Director. And I'm really excited to be here today to introduce everybody to our new landlord engagement team. We have our liaisons, Juana Lave, Kendall Thrush, and Tanisha Ernai here with us as well. We're just really honored to have been selected to manage this landlord engagement program for the city of Albuquerque in partnership with Housing New Mexico. I know it's drawing on success of similar programs like the one modeled after the CYFD program, as well as some others modeled across different cities in the United States. We are looking forward to working with the landlords who currently accept all of the City of Albuquerque and the Continuum of Care funded permanent supportive housing vouchers, as well as building new relationships with additional landlords. We believe that housing is a fundamental human right and that landlords play a critical role in our efforts to end homelessness. By strengthening our partnerships with them and providing additional support, we aim to enhance our effectiveness in the homeless response system. We're committed to fostering strong relationships with our landlord partners, as these relationships are just as important as the relationships with our clients. We believe that by working together, we can make a significant impact in the community and help more individuals and families find stable and long-term housing.
Such a quiet moment, but we're going to have a big applause at the end. So, this is not possible with just one side of the housing area. This is the necessity has to be there from the other side. So, with the Apartment Association of New Mexico, I would like to invite Alan Lasek up.
I'm going to move this up, and then hopefully you can hear me. So thank you all for your time for this morning. Thank you for coming this morning. My name is Alan Lasek. I'm the Executive Director of the Apartment Association of New Mexico. We represent about 72,000 rental doors across the state, with about 40,000 of those being located here in Albuquerque. I do want to take the time to thank everybody that was involved in this program, really from conception to what brings us here today. I want to thank the mayor for hosting us today and being here. I want to give a special thank you to Councilor Brooke Bassan for really recognizing the need of this program and the importance in programs like this and really pushing this program forward. I want to thank city staff for the countless hours that they've put in. Abigail, thank you very much. Thank you to all the volunteers that served on the advisory committee, and thank you to everyone who participated in the research interviews as well. I want to give a special thank you, though, to Kristen Carmichael from Carmichael Consultants for really being our fearless leader and pushing this charge forward and really kind of guiding us through best practice in this. As mentioned before, this was truly a collaborative effort. It was my honor to serve on this committee, but really it was the city staff and Carmichael Consultants that really moved the needle on this project. This is a perfect example, as the mayor said, of how city council, city administration, local nonprofits, other local entities can really come together to work on a program that's good for not only the owner, but for the residents that they serve. We know that there's not one solution, there's not a one-size-fits-all to fix this housing problem. And I think that this program, programs like these have been proven to be successful around the country, and we're excited to have this program here in Albuquerque. I think it's important to note that about 85% of our rentals in New Mexico are owned by mom and pop owners. These are small owner operators, and it's 85% of them. And programs like these are really what allow them to be successful and sustainable. We know that this pilot program will be successful. We hope to continue to grow this program because this is absolutely an important piece of this housing puzzle that we're all trying to solve. I think it's more important now than ever that we all continue to work together on programs like this, common sense programs, common sense policy that really will continue to improve the housing availability and attainability for Albuquerque residents. So with that, I appreciate everybody's time. I appreciate everybody that's here behind me today, and we're excited to get the ball rolling. Thank you.
All right. I promise I'm not crying, even though it might look like it. All right. Charlie Verblue is also here with the Health, Housing, and Homelessness, the Deputy Director. I would love to have Charlie, and welcome back. I mean, not back, but to the city. I think you're going to be a great asset, so I'm glad that you're here. But Charlie, if you want to say a few words.
Thank you for letting me speak, and good morning to everybody. My name is Charlie Verplew, and I'm a Deputy Director for the Health, Housing, and Homelessness Department for the City of Albuquerque. The Landlord Engagement Program is really essential for having housing supports and housing services that are stable and effective and work well. One of the things I wanted to talk about today is that when you're talking about housing services, from the beginning of distributing housing vouchers all the way up to talking with landlords, engaging with partners, those services are lifelines to individuals who are facing economic hardship, for people who don't know where they're going to put their head that night. These services are integral to helping them get there. And so we also want to talk to everyone about the fact that homelessness and housing is becoming more of an issue in our communities across the United States. We know that from the point in time count that 2,700 individuals are without shelter tonight and at any given night in Albuquerque, and that's severely undercounted. We also know that 850 voucher holder and households today could benefit from a landlord engagement program like this. The importance of our department being involved is that HHH is really focused and invested in building good relationships with both with community partners, but also with landlords, because we want to make this process streamlined, effective, not intimidating for landlords, easy to navigate, right? And that's what this program is going to do. The coolest part about it is having these landlord liaisons here. One of the things that they can do is they can create hands-on assistance and education for landlords. They can come in and work with them and provide all of the support so they can understand how to navigate that process smoothly, so that it's a smooth transition from getting a voucher to getting placed for both tenants and for landlords, right? And then the second thing is this extra financial support that will go to landlords is really helpful. So any costs that are incurred by the landlords from those tenants, they can support those costs. So that's really a helpful piece. And then also the final piece in being able to work on the stigma and the negative perception that sometimes comes along with voucher holders. If we can work on those three things, we can build up a system that works really well for housing supports across the community. I want to say that health, housing, and homelessness wants to be at the forefront of this effort, in part because we know that just creating housing solutions for our community isn't just putting roofs over people's heads, but being able to develop good, effective partnerships with community partners and with landlords. If we can do that well, we can be sure that we're able to house individuals that most need that support. So together in partnership with all the partners here today, what we want to do is work on the perception of vouchers and then also make it easy, effective, and rewarding for landlords to be able to participate in solutions to some of the biggest housing challenges that the city faces. So thank you.